Hello, this is cybersecurity expert and AI consultant Reginald Andre with Arc Solvers. And today we are going to be talking about how the AI just fooled government officials thinking that they were speaking with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So I'm going to go ahead and get right to it. We're going to go to a Fox News video, and then from there we're going to talk about how business owners, how you can be next, and we're actually going to also talk about exactly how they most likely did this. Let's get started.
Welcome in here to Live Now from Fox. If you are just joining us, we are following some breaking news as it does pertain to Secretary of State Marco Rubio. We're learning an imposter used an artificially generated voice to impersonate Rubio in contacts with 3 foreign ministers and 2 U.S. politicians. This is according to a cable seen by Reuters today. In mid-June, the person contacted the ministers, a U.S. governor, and a member of Congress via the Signal messaging app. Voicemails were left in 2 instances, and a text message in a 3rd instance invited the targeted person to communicate on Signal. This is a quote directly from that cable. It says, "The actor likely aimed to manipulate targeted individuals using AI-generated text and voice messages with the goal of gaining access to information or accounts."
So look at that. We have AI being used by bad guys. So how did this happen, right? So you basically have AI using a few tools. First one they used was a voice cloning tool. And then the second one that they used was a writing tool. And we all know there's Gemini, there's ChatGPT, there's so many different tools that can do the writing. So in today's technology, all AI need is about 30 seconds of your voice. And then from there, you can literally write an entire paragraph, a book, however long you want it, making the person say whatever you want it to say. So you can take Joe Biden's voice, Trump's voice, Morgan Freeman's voice, whoever's voice you have on YouTube, you just take that voice, you put it into the AI, and then from there, it's like a typewriter, it's like a Microsoft Word document, and you just basically write the transcript of what you want that person to say. And with just 30 seconds of the voice, it's able to mimic that person's voice. Then from there, you use a tool like ChatGPT, like Gemini, and what you essentially do is just say, I need you to write a text message as if Marco Rubio wrote it. Or I need you to write a message as if such and such writes it. It's going to take, when you look at, these AI tools and ChatGPT, there's about 200 million books in its memory. And what is it going to do? It's going to find all the articles, all the, posts, Reddit, every single thing that Marco Rubio has ever said that's public information. This AI can look at it within seconds. And then it's going to take his writing style, his vocabulary, and it's going to now take that person out and it's now going to write whatever you want it to write. If you want it to be a short text message, if you want it to be a paragraph or whatever like that. So then the next thing the bad guys did is they used a Signal app. And you guys probably remember when a few people in the Trump administration got in trouble for that in March for using Signal. So I'm a little curious on this, because if other countries' government officials are actually trusting Signal, I'm actually thinking that they're using this way more than we know. But nevertheless, they use a messaging app like Signal. And Signal has an interesting concept, because Signal, you can actually spoof. It's very similar to like emails, where you can have an account, but if you want the display name to say Donald Trump, if you want the display name to say Joe Biden, this is not political, I'm just trying to give you the point. You can make the display name and email address pretty much whatever you want. It's pretty easy to spoof that. And it worked. So from there, imagine you get a message from a phone number you never got. All right. That's probably suspect number 1. You should always be careful. Then after that, you get a voice memo that says, hey, John, this is Marco Rubio, and I'm messaging you and I need to give you an update, or I have a question to ask you. And now the person is like, oh, okay, cool. Rubio's messaging me on a voice message on Signal. he got my number, so I mean, it must be true. And then conversations started to happen. So let me ask you, small business owner, if government leaders in other countries can get tricked into doing this, what about your staff, your vendors, and your customers? I mean, look at for us. I'm in IT. I'm in technology. What if now the bad guy takes my voice, finds out who one of my customers are, and then they now say, "Oh, hi, John. This is Andre, and I need to remote into your computer." Or business owner, CEO contacts his accounts payable. "Hey, this is Sam, the CEO, accounts payable. I need you to wire $25,000. I'm going to shoot you a text message. I'm going to send you an email." Or you have public information where people know the type of clients that you deal with, or specific clients that you deal with. They take your AI voice, and then now they call your clients to say, "Hey, we had to change our bank accounts. The payment that you're going to be giving me, go ahead and send it to this bank account. I'm having some issues with my emails." Because before, you have people watching out for phishing emails, but now you have to watch out for these voice type emails. So these are really real world risks that you have to start being, you're going to have to start looking out for. And this is why it's so important that you provide training to your staff. You need to let your staff know, and you need to have policies in place that says, look, if anybody ever calls because they need to do some type of wire change, ACH information needs to be changed, you do not take it from a phone call. You do not take it from an email, because they are, vendor impersonations, client impersonations, phishing impersonations, voice messages, text messages. There's a lot of different things. So have always have a policy that if there's any money that's going to be transferred and someone's contacting you because they need to transfer this money, but it needs to go to a different account, have what is called a transfer of funds policy. If you're dealing with money, your company's dealing with money, and they're always, you're wiring out, you need to have a transfer of funds policy where you have a callback system where you're not calling back the number that just called you, but you're calling the number that you have on file. You should also have a voice impersonation protocol in your business. If you're dealing with wires, again, you're a CPA, you're in financial services, and now all of a sudden someone's calling you, you should have a code set up where either you send a text message, they have to verify the number on file, not the number they're calling you from, or there's just a code. Every year you give them a code. Hey, this year your code is, Wi-Fi 21. Whatever it is, it can be as simple as that, but only you and the other person knows it. And invest in cyber assessment. These are tricks that you should actually be doing to your staff. After you put the policy in place, you want to make sure that they're actually following, because it just takes that one bad impersonation for your business to be just devastated. Now, government, hey, they have insurance, and that insurance is called taxpayers, and they're going to continue running because they're going to continue taxing us. But you as a small business owner, if you fall for some of this, insurance may not even cover it because they may even consider this gross negligence. So final thoughts, if it can happen to a U.S. official, it can definitely happen to your small business. So go ahead and start protecting your business from these type of frauds. We'll keep you updated on how this goes, and follow us and like us. We have our main channel, which is going to be the Arc Solvers YouTube channel, and we're also on LinkedIn and Facebook. And this is where cybersecurity and intersecting, and this is what we're bringing to the channel. We're talking cybersecurity, we're talking AI, but we're now intersecting it because this is a perfect example of how cybersecurity and AI will eventually mesh, and they will eventually collide, because bad guys are going to use it. We're using it for good stuff, but the bad guys are going to find very clever ways to use it. Take care.